Oh jeez. Right. Okay. I've got a cup of tea. Let's crack on, yeah. Hello. How are we all? Hope we are all well. I am unwell, but we'll just plough on. It's 2020. Where has that time gone? Now, it's been about 2.5 months since I last uploaded, and the main reason for that is I've just been too busy. I mean, perhaps I could have squeezed in a video here and there, but if you've got a brain like mine, sometimes I can only sort of focus and prioritise one thing at a time. So I've just had other things going on and they needed my full attention. But for now, those things are over-ish. So with the new year beginning, I thought I better come back and explain what's been going on. There's been a lot of changes. So apologies for no videos. I'm sure not many people really mind. But today I would just like to give a bit of an update on what's been going on in these 2.5 months, and I suppose sort of reflect, as it's the new year, on what has happened from beginning of 2019 to beginning of 2020. A lot. So let's go back. So the first thing that happened after the last video that was uploaded, which was the podcast Afako and I recorded. I was on his podcast. I started a traineeship doing coaching. It was end of September that began in terms of my placement in a primary school. That went well. I finished that at the very beginning of December, and I suppose overall the experience was positive. I definitely came away with more confidence, and of course a level 1 and 2 qualification in coaching. So that's all right. It's better than nothing. But in all honesty, as much as I did really enjoy it, and it was something that I would have never thought I would do. I've never seen myself working in a school because I just never considered that something that I'd like, but I did really enjoy it. I was obviously doing the coaching, but majority of the time was just being a TA in the classroom, so I was doing maths and English and the rest. And the anxiety that I got from forgetting all of the maths and 10-year-olds being better at maths than me, it went alright. The school was really lovely, but I did find myself slipping into old habits of dealing with the anxiety that it brought. So I did find myself drinking again, not in the school, but in the evening when I came home. I don't want to sort of sugarcoat things and make it seem like, oh yeah, working in school, brilliant, easy, like I can do it. Like, I mean, I did it, but I still struggled, and my anxiety was high, and it hasn't been that bad in a while, but I understand that that's because of what I was doing, and I think that's fair enough. You know, it'd be weird if I didn't feel anxiety about it, but it did sort of throw me off a little bit. But we managed. Just, I'm trying not to see it as defeat. I did feel a bit gutted, like, oh, like back at it again kind of thing, using alcohol as a way to cope in the evenings to make sure, I don't know, I know that's not a rare thing. I know a lot of people do drink to do it, but because of what my past relationship's been like, using alcohol to help, it's just frustrating that, you know, the slightest increase in anxiety and that's it, I'm doing it again. But I suppose in the past I would have begun drinking again and let that take over and not have completed the course. So I suppose that's progress, that I still kept a lid on it enough that I could complete it, and I did enjoy it. It's just me, really, isn't it? In a way, kind of preferred the whole TA side of it to the coaching. I think that was because I felt more comfortable in an English lesson than actually taking my own after school class, which that was difficult. I mean, some were okay and some were awful, and I came away and just cried in the car on the way home because it was so stressful, but we survived. I was there 2 months, I think. During working in the school, I was still obviously going to STEPS, the group, which finished a few weeks before the coaching course finished. So all of these things that I'm going to talk about was sort of overlapping. So, I mean, the drinking because of the school, it probably wasn't just because of the school, there was a lot of things going on as well. So we got working in the school, and then another layer of stress was Steps was ending and ended, that was a big trigger for me and all of us really in the group. It ended in me being discharged from psychology. That it was very hard. It wasn't what we expected, so that really threw us off, because it felt like we'd finished the group and then we were just sort of being booted out the door. And of course, steps for a lot of people, and it's not my first thing of therapy, but it still feels like I'm in the beginning of it. I feel like I've got so far to go with it, but for some people it was their first thing, and then to be discharged from it when you feel like you've only just begun, it was a big kick in the teeth really, and it confused a lot of us, and so that was hard, and it really affected me, and I felt quite dark again, during which going to the school, where was this? It was November. November was a bit hard, yeah. Long story short, I got discharged from psychology, which is a team within the mental health centre I go to, but because of how I felt, I was quite honest about it and expressed how unhappy I was with my psychologists and teams that had come to this decision, and had a very honest conversation, and I probably wasn't I wasn't the nicest to them. But I'm gonna fight for what I think, and I didn't feel ready to be discharged. So I've still been discharged from psychology, but I'm now being referred to psychotherapy, which is, from my understanding, it's similar, but it's sort of more intense one-to-one therapy, which is what I've wanted for years. So I suppose it ended positively, but it was just a very stressful few weeks and upsetting few weeks, but it's just waiting again now. System is like that, isn't it? All in all, I'm not ready to let go of a service that took me so many years to get into. I had to get so ill before I was sort of rewarded with the help, so it feels like you've got to reach a certain standard of illness and then they'll help you. And because I'm doing a bit better, it's like, she doesn't need help. It's like, well, no, come on, I do. So don't boot me out the door, thank you. Next, and I suppose the most significant and stressful change that has happened in my life well, on the last day of my placement in the primary school, I received loads of missed calls, texts, emails, and so I came in the staff room, and during break I called back. This is the Friday. Called back and they said, you've got a viewing on Monday, you have to come, blah blah blah. I was like, right, okay, yeah. Went to view it on the Monday with my dad, and then by Wednesday, I think, yeah, by Wednesday I'd signed the tenancy, so that was that. I got a flat. Bit mad, bit of a whirlwind. I didn't know what was going on. I was just going, you sure? Can I? Okay, so yeah, signed tenancy on Wednesday. By Friday was decorating. So within a week of getting the phone call, I'd gone from finishing up working in a primary school to getting a flat to decorating it within a week. My head came off. My head is still coming off. I'm sitting in it and I still can't get my head around it, and I'm still extremely stressed. But it's fine, we are managing. Decorating took just over a week. I luckily did have help, and then cleaning, and then moving stuff in. It's still not complete, I won't lie. I am skint and can't afford things like an oven or a washing machine. I bought a fridge. It just makes me laugh. I bought a fridge. Stop saying you bought a fridge. It's fine. Drowning in stress, but I've got a flat. So perhaps the entire process of getting this place warrants its own video. I did film some bits of the decoration process, so maybe something will come of that. Like I said, all these things were sort of happening within the same week. Finished steps, finished working in the primary school, got a flat, and then on the Monday, so Friday I started decorating, on the Monday following I had a meeting with my psychologist, the one who had me do 2 videos for staff within mental health. I had a meeting with her not as a patient, but as someone who basically kind of put forward for me to start volunteering and helping her, which I'm I agreed to. So we had this meeting regarding what I can kind of do within services to help. We went through a presentation that she gives to staff when she trains them, all about, I suppose, people like me, in which my video is in. That was a bit awkward. That's fine, I agreed to it. So she went through the complex needs stroke trauma presentation that she gives. She was basically asking for my input if anything needs tweaking and what I thought of it, and I liked it, so that's fine. We also discussed the idea of putting together a booklet for staff to have on complex needs patients and for patients. I think we were going to combine them, so it's going to be a hefty little thing, but that's fine to the future. Most of these things are fine to the future, but we were just sort of throwing ideas out there. We also discussed me potentially helping with the next steps group, the one I've just been through. I would go to the next lot of people, and I don't know what I'd do, but I'd be sitting on the other side of the table, if you like, which is weird. So it was very weird, I'm not gonna lie, in this meeting, talking in a more professional, as in a work professional kind of way. It was, we did sort of talk about how it's weird how the roles have suddenly shifted between like psychologist and patient to psychologist and volunteer person. I don't know, you know what I mean. It was just a bit weird, but interesting as well, because obviously I am interested in that side of things as well, and I always like learning more, and I was sitting there learning more about my thing or things related to my thing. So it was interesting, She was sort of asking if I had any ideas, and I sort of suggested how there needs to be more support for family and friends of people who go into mental health services, you know, ill, because there's always waiting lists and times. So, you know, you get referred as a patient to services, but then it could be another 6 months before you get seen to, and there needs to be some sort of like group or presentation or almost like a class or support group for family and friends who live with that patient to help within those 6 months of being at home, because people have seen what happened to me and my circumstances at home, and I know that happens all over the place. You know, there's so many young people with mental health issues who are homeless because of these things. You know, there needs to be more support for family and that to know how to deal with their person who is ill. So that's where I'm sort of at the moment. One other person who is new, I did have met someone. So perhaps he will begin to make appearances soon. We haven't planned anything, but we've sort of mentioned a few video ideas that I am certainly keen to make, so hopefully he would be, because he knows stuff about exercise, and as I keep promising, I'm gonna make stuff about the gym and exercise. Have I? No, I haven't, because I want to, but then I keep getting anxiety about filming in the gym. So perhaps with his help, that anxiety will be squashed a bit more, because he's a personal trainer. So yeah, all jokes aside, I mean, November and December have been full on, I won't lie. Most days I'm riddled with anxiety, and subsequently have had a few more anxiety attacks than I do usually. I don't really have anxiety attacks anymore, but I have been. But it's fine, there's a reason for that. It's because stuff's been going on, and none of this was expected. It all happened very quickly within 2 months, and oh my god, it's fine. It's January now, Christmas is gone, thank God. New Year's is over, because those 2 times of the year freak me out anyway. Bad connotations and that, but they're over. It's fine. I certainly wouldn't have got through the last few months without the support of the people around me. I've struggled to feel sort of grounded with everything so up in the air, and with so much change, I've struggled to just feel in control and centered with my head and like motivation, like everything. I felt really lost and alone and sort of trapped due to the stresses of money at the moment. But I'm hoping that with all these changes happening, it's just the universe setting me up for 2020, and you know, because all of this happened so quickly, I'm just hoping that it was just everything falling into place very quickly and rushed, ready for this new year. So I'm excited, but fuck me, I'm stressed. And on the topic of New Year, my most important New Year's resolution I had going into 2019 was to be able to recognise progress by the end of the year. And that goes for in all aspects, mentally, physically, environmentally, like whatever my circumstances are. And for the first time in my life, I think I can say I smashed that one. I don't know why I said that like such a little cretin. I smashed that one. But yeah, I mean, shit's different, alright? Shit's different. Don't get me wrong, bad old habits still linger. I'm always still kind of wanting to self-destruct and just disappear and hide away for weeks on end. But that's not productive. That's not recovering. In 2019, I dedicated myself to therapy and I saw real progress. In 2019, I found a new love in exercise, which I never saw happening. That was a shock to myself and everyone around me. 2019 was kind of a year for shedding the bad bits of the last few years and setting myself up for hopefully the next good few years. I think 2019 is going to stand out as one of the years that, despite all the hardships and obstacles and stresses, as one that's really going to shape the rest of my life. So there's that, I hope. Anyway, yeah, a lot's changed. Let's hope there's not going to be any more massive changes yet, because I don't think my liver can handle it at the moment. So that's probably why I've been so ill, because my immune system is fucked. Oh jeez. Well, thank you for watching anyway. I hope that everyone's beginning of the year is going alright. I'm still ill, so I'm just slowly trying to play catch up. I wanted this video out before 2020 started, but here we are a few days in. But yeah, anyway, thanks. Bye.